So I'm very pleased to speak to you today about a newly funded Neuroscience Meets Dance and Therapy Research Network, which was created literally last year, a bit during the pandemic as well. Thanks to a conversation that we had with several colleagues that they will be also in the room with you, and you will probably meet also, or you met and during your research way, let's say, it's pathway. So the Neuroscience Meets Dance in Therapy was born, and I should say also thanks to Ismail yesterday, because he set the scene, and it was very nice to see. Can you see Merle? Yeah, good. Like a brief introduction, although you will hear much more about from more experts, colleagues than me about dance movement therapy, which is not about dance, at my surprise, but it's a very interesting subfield of performing arts that we will discuss about. So most of you yesterday discussed about the facts during the panel that there was in the last decade there was like an explosion of this interdisciplinary discussion between people interested in dance, but also in dance therapy and so forth, and about also the difficulty of sometimes interacting with people who are not neuroscientists like some of us. And it's been interesting to note that these things applies even more specifically to dance movement therapy, where you will see in the next presentation with Professor Vicky Karko, who she's the co-leader of this project. We started literally from a nice conversation about how arts therapies might speed up positive outcomes in mental health and well-being, thanks to the use not just of dance movement therapy, but also other creative arts and arts therapies. So in the last 15 years, there've been, as I said, like an explosion of a series of literature reviews. So some of you yesterday was also, not view, but also via the YouTube channel, were asking whether there was any review about the benefits of engaging with dance and dance movement therapy in several psychiatric conditions. And indeed, there's a strong evidence that to support for it that the use of dance movement therapy is quite beneficial through not just to the brain, but also through to our physical and mental well-being. And the question is, though, okay, why this is happening? So what we did is we started having a conversation where we mixed up people from neuroscience perspective, like myself, but also artists with performance and dance movement therapy, and we started having a conversation about, okay, why this is happening. And we thought that a good idea, a good starting point would be to create this network, which you will see in a bit. It includes several people that are coming from different backgrounds, so it's very well grounded into a multidisciplinary approach. And we applied for the HRC grant, which is like one of the major funded arts research council in the UK, and we managed actually to get this funding, which are just for creating a research network. And the aim for this was to bridge essentially contemporary neuroscience of dance, performing arts, and creative therapies, with the idea of establishing a common vocabulary, essentially, where we could discuss all together and trying to unravel the concept and mechanism of brain change during dance. And the idea was also to challenge current methodological limitations, because most of the methods used by people engaged in psychotherapy and dance movement therapy are not using, for example, common physiological responses or brain imaging techniques or other type of techniques that might be useful in that. So we're trying to establish a connection between all of this, and to embed well-established psychophysiological and neural measure to the study of dance movement psychotherapy. The idea is that on the long term, we want to promote the development of new symptom-specific dance-based treatments, which are of course research-informed and based on elements of cognitive neuroscience, which can help us to understand the brain mechanism of dance practice underlying its clinical efficacy. So who we are? We are a bunch of people this girl here on the right hand side is our precious project administrator that we really have to thank. This is Becky Clark, because she's the bone of the project. Then it's me and Vicky, and you will meet Vicky next. But then also we have a bunch of neuroscientists, including Sergius Makris, Guido Orgs, Corina Iola, Merit Milman. But also we have people coming not just from dance movement psychotherapy, but also from other film or other fields of art. So we have, for example, people involved in psychodrama, music therapy. So, for example, you might recognize some of the names, some of the faces here, like I'm referring to Hod or Kibi, Neutral, Nisha Sanjami, Sabine Koch, that she will speak later, Rainbow Hu, and so forth. So thanks to the wonderful contribution of these people, we started a pathway all together, and we are almost at the end of this project right now, because the project unfolded in 3 different workshops. The first one was based on gathering evidence about how we observe dance. And for this occasion, we had, for example, always a neuroscientist. In this event, we have Beatriz Calvo-Merino talking about her interesting research on action, observation, and dance. And then on the side of this, we also have dance movement therapist with Emma Paris. And the 2 of them, they did, dialogue between them, but also with an extended audience of people coming from different backgrounds, with the aim to clarify the neural underpinnings and the observing different qualities of dance and movement within the context of dance movement therapy. The next workshop was around January, and in this case, we explored the impact of performing synchronized mirror and dialogue dance movements on the brain, and we discussed about also things linked to quality of movement, execution, body kinematics. And for this occasion, we had Andrea Orlandi, whom I'm pretty sure you know, because his name came forward yesterday, but also Cecilia Fontanetti, who's a dance movement therapist, that she will speak to you again later during this day. And finally, just recently, we had a final workshop which focused on what neuroscientists call interoception, broadly speaking, which is about inner dancing. And here we had Dr. Vasiliki, who also Meletaki, who will talk to you later as well, and also Professor Helen Payne, who's a certified dance movement therapist in the UK, where again they spoke about the focus towards the inner body, inner brain, and how we listen to internal sensations, and during the engagement with practices which are core for dance movement therapy, like the authentic movement, for example. And finally, just to conclude, we have an upcoming event. This is a conference which will essentially gather all the work we've done in these 3 workshops. And this conference will be in person, and will be actually the 7th of June. We will be based at Agile University, which is Omskirk, which is the main location of my colleague, Professor Vicky Karku. And in this case, actually Asaf should be in the audience. So thank you, Asaf, again, because he will give us a talk about his research. He will be a keynote for this event. But the main scope of this event is will not be based on talks, but instead we will have 3 different panels, which will remap essentially the 3 workshop big topics we have covered in the 3 workshops. And we will gather together all the people on the steering committee and beyond, of course, because it will be open to the public. We will also have Guido Orgs who will give us like performance, where he will use you saw a bit of the project yesterday by Laura, on the NeuroLife project he's conducting. So he will use, for example, some of these equipment with EEG to then apply his knowledge, research knowledge, into some practices in dance movement therapy. So this is an invite. The registration is still open. I will be circulating this email if later through Merle if you're interested. And that's all. We're also accepting posters, so there will be also sessions for the early career researcher, and you're more than welcome, to join us in person. And we're really looking forward to continue the conversation that we're starting today and also yesterday. So I think I'm done. Exactly 10 minutes. Yeah. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you can hear all the wild applause. We're so happy to have you with us today, Valentina. She is on her holiday and she's taking time away from
It's fine. My kids are on holiday, to be honest, to be specific.
which usually means you are not on holiday. But
exactly.
we are very glad that you are here all the same. And thank you so much for your amazing project. I think yesterday, I don't know if you heard us during the panel discussion, but we were talking about how do we put these two pieces of the puzzle together in a way that funded and have impact, but still be meaningful, which seems to require compromise. But I think that this is no compromise. The work that you're doing is really, it's spot on. It's what we should all be trying to do. So really grateful for you and through the whole network and for your support of the event. We're very excited